Whatever you may think of this place, there is no question of the influence that Jinan Baron had here.
Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor? Army. Did he now? How magnanimous. But approval is approval, and I will gladly take it. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of one cannot help but notice the energy field around the scaled citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in.
This seems like the one time to set politics.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiation. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. The Council just so happens to represent the three houses under Varun's banner, who are also entrusted with various aspects of running, well, everything. Each of those houses needs to contribute something to the project, so the Council is the final stopgap. Were the Speaker here, he could bypass all of it with a wave of his hand, but, well, you have already seen the state he's in. Indeed. I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to... If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. The first convert in generations. The only one to have heard from the Speaker since the disaster. Oh, House Fetal owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. I know. I have lost friends and colleagues myself. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but these horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're giving. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all that. Well, then you are in luck. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. I do hope you are not questioning. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Just look around. I'm sure you have at least some idea of how much we have physically lost. A huge portion of the city is just gone. And those left behind are struggling. Supplies are limited. There is so much work to be done, and we are all just so tired. I hope that eventually we can return things to the way they were, but we must be realistic. That will take time, and I suspect a great deal of it. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this, It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off. Had I not, I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. I have never considered luck a real factor in anything, given the state Dozra's in, but I left the project weeks before the disaster. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and
Do you see anything useful? This area is... Can we speak for a moment? Is something amiss? I have been curious. I know that your role in Constellation was thrust upon you in an unusual way. But that experience does not demand that you stay. You could have delivered the artifact and then left. Why do you stay? It does seem to be a unique situation with Sirius. That is what keeps me here as well. My past is complicated, but my family always stressed the importance of fun is not a consideration. I am not saying I am incapable of it, should never be a priority over... When I first came to New Atlantis, I was shocked at how many people go about their business every day like they do their jobs, eat their food, sleep in their beds, all seemingly without concern for anything around them. Complacent. Their experience is so different from much of the settled systems. They do not... Yes, they were. I did not grow up. Purpose cuts through adversity. I know that. I have. There have been... My family is unique within the settled systems. I grew up outside the bounds of the United Colonies, or the Freestar Collective. My parents, and their parents before them, did not believe anyone outside our family could be trusted or relied upon. You can imagine, I am sure, how existence without ties to others... It has certainly proven valuable. Saved me. For now, though, it would seem you and I have found purpose in I believe that is enough. I am pleased that we have common...
This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house.
So,
You are
Ekris
the
has sent
chosen
our
elder.
newest armiger to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry. Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
This is a major overreach. I have never known the Zealots to be so bold.
The Zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council, or even the reinstatement of their house. House Maleen. Agreed. Which is why I'm hoping you can help. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the Zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally, I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here. Present. I couldn't risk more lives. And that is where the issue lies. I don't know where the Zealots are keeping Sahima, but their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now, on my orders. Get the information any way you see fit, as long as no physical harm comes to them.
Understood.
See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? So you're the heretic turned armiger who thinks they're one of us now. So tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? I'm sorry, did you say zealots? Why would I know anything about such extremists? Absolutely ridiculous. So much for confidentiality. I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Razma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. You make a good point. And perhaps I should take your presence here as a sign. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Razma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned. Watch your tone. You may be promised, but you're still an outsider.
You must have gotten the location. Ah, yes, the old Varun military outpost. It's a remnant of the Serpents. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. The sooner the better.
We will do whatever is necessary to bring...
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiation. I expect them to be pliable after their... The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. Good. Serpent. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Armiger, a word before you go. Tell me, Armiger, what do you know about the Zealots? An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget. I'm surprised she even mentioned that much. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
That sounds like an incredibly foolish plan.
Exactly. House Khadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots, but the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Khadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. House Khadik would be condemned should anyone outside our house find out. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Khadik's reputation and power at risk. And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Khadik shouldn't be associating with Zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the Zealots altogether. Far from it. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Kadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Rasma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
An extreme sacrifice for the sake of your house.
I'm doing what I must to preserve this house. All you need to get is Sahima's research, which she has with her. I see I misjudged you. How unfortunate for us all. Well, should you change your mind, the offer still stands. And Armiger, this conversation stays between us.
And your scan shows...
Salutations. Do you know the scientists out at Hamadi Station?
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember right.
Do not agitate the locals.
Need a moment to walk that off? Unfamiliar environments should always be approached with caution.
You're not walking out of here. Come back, you coward! Take your best shot. I cannot wait to kill you.
Winner takes all is the phrase, is it not? Cowards.
What was that?
Victory! Well earned.
If you're here to help, that zealot had a key. You have to get me out of here. Who are you? Serpent's Grace, I knew it! I knew she wouldn't just leave us here through... It's more than just me. There are others. The Zealots have been using them to force me to continue my... They think I have all the answers since the original experiment was a catastrophic failure.
The Zealots were wise in their tactics.
So my theory is correct. Or I should say, the High Council now believes my theory, the better theory. I knew it! I told them their algorithms and insufficient testing were only giving the illusion of stability. But no one wants to listen to me. Not the girl who put people... Of course, this is what it would take for Razma to send someone after me. I wish I could have that mentality. And maybe it's not so much a desire to be cared for as it is... I overheard the Zealots mention negotiating with House Kadik, so the motivations are clear. Not only does the High Council deem me important, but Razma needs to remove... I get it. But at least... Yes, step one is... The Zealots aren't aware of how I've been delving in... I told them I needed full access if they expect me to replicate the Nazco's experiment. They think I'm applying my theories to their poor excuse for technology down here. Right. Getting there. The other hostages are being kept just beyond this room. I can disengage the locks to their cell and grant you access to an elevator in the room beyond that will take them to safety. You just have to clear out that area first, and the Zealots down there are... different. Oh, I'm not going anywhere. While you get the rescue underway, I'm going to set up certain guarantees here. I'll meet you and the others outside. Well, you have to. I just need enough time to set up a remote device so I can launch a virus that will render this place useless. Think of it as a failsafe to guarantee our safety. The Zealots would never risk this base. Good. I'll...
Take what you must. Leave the rest for the scavengers.
Be merciful. Finally arrived?
Who are you?
Who are you?
You aren't a zealot. Who are you? The Great Serpent is merciful. And Tahima? Did you find her yet? I wish it were that easy. The Zealots separated us. Our brethren are still out there. Please, I can ready my people here, but you'll have to deal with the Zealots. We'll be ready.
I thought we were dead.
Why not just break it open? Anything here worth taking?
By the serpent, you did it!
Thank the serpent. I thought I was done for.
That looks like it is worth bringing along.
Thank you. Thank you. My prayers have been answered.
Profit is never necessarily the aim, but if there is something worth taking...
Is this the Great Serpent? Finally, I can be free of this place.
You did it!
Truly watching over
It's true what they say. The air really does smell fresher.
Serpent bless you. We owe you our lives.
Correction, it's time for you to get back. I'm going to stay back a moment and make sure everyone here is okay to make it back. I'll catch up with you shortly. Just let me know where the negotiations are taking. Have I mentioned I'm sick of people telling me what to do? I'll be there when it counts.
These members of your house have suffered. I can respect your decision.
I'll be practically right behind you.
Is your intent to be unreasonable the whole time? I thought this was a negotiation.
We're having a friendly chat, aren't we? It's not my fault you don't find my offers acceptable.
Nah, just the person I wanted to see. Please tell me you bring good... exactly what I wanted to hear.
Razma, who is this? You allow any commoner to just waltz in on official business. I'd expect better security from House Kadik.
This is hardly official business.
Yes. And now these so-called negotiations are over.
Over? You'd risk everything after the whispers of a stranger. I demand to know who this is. House Kadik dealing with outsiders? Only a complete fool would expect me to believe.
It's true, Mihail. And if you don't leave now, peacefully, I'll make sure your ships and Shadow Station Epsilon are made dust.
You... How did you... You're bluffing.
Test me. You think a genius mind like mine wouldn't find a way to hack into every system in your base? This remote device will launch a virus that will detonate systems within Epsilon, and reach your ships as well.
You realize how this may affect future partnerships, Razma. You'd jeopardize our connections.
It jeopardizes nothing. It merely restores the natural order.
The natural order. I could take you all out here and now. You know every one of us is prepared to answer the Serpent's call.
Are you sure?
You launch that virus, and I guarantee blood will spill. What's there to reconsider? No, but it's the death they know is possible. Besides, you think I'd turn my back on the insults?
You mean, do we think you'd throw away your life and the lives of everyone at Shadow Station Epsilon over your pride? No. I, for one, don't think you. And you can't deny our partnerships have been.
We'll see about that. You make a fair point. The Serpent would lose a very efficient disciple. Our souls are prepared, but this would be enough talking!
Great Serpent, please accept this offering on our behalf.
Good to see you.
That could have gone better. House Kadik is in your debt.
As am I.
Sahima.
I know. I just wanted to say thank you. Personal. And here, it's the research and algorithm the High Council wants. I'm sure they'll appreciate it more coming from you. I'm going back to check on the others, but maybe come find me when you're done. Great. You can find me at the Great House whenever you get the chance.
We'll talk later, Sahim. As I was saying, House Kadik is in your... You've helped me maintain a very precarious balance. And one day it will. But until then, they're a necessary evil. I'd appreciate it if you kept this a secret. Good. The others involved know better than to speak of this. You seem to be understanding our society quite... Now, I have much to do, and so do you.
Bold of the Zealots to take over such a significant location.
You've served.
Brother lost his wife and home in Bethesda.
It seems the political deadlock really has subsided. This is good.
How did we end up here?
understand. I saw a Nazgul, took measure of his burdens.
Ah, were you able to find Sahima? Perfect. I have no doubt Sahima's work is the key to stabilizing the morning device. If only the others had listened to her, we may not have lost some. This leaves houses Dul Kef and...
Politics can wait. Every moment we delay, a Nazgul descends further into the void.
For the last time, faith will not remove the barrier. Science...
It is the hubris of science that failed you.
You claim he has forsaken...
I do no such thing. The Great Serpent's reply is not an act until that is proved. Thank you, Armiger. But the proof is not in our words. It is in the vision. A Nazgul's presence still persists in this world. And
Fine. I feel like I've lived this argument 1,000 times, and the only way to move past it is to concede to its nonsense. Armiger, speak to my sister. Agree to her fool's errand so that we may continue the work of saving this city.
your life, your purpose,